We're back, spinning the wheel. We got 29 presets left, I think. We still got a lot. So we're making our way through. We've done 8 so far. Are we doing the newest one? No, we're not. We're doing a classic Blast from the Past Season 2 safe. Surely this won't take too long to generate. So this is going to be Season 2 safe. The reason it's called that is because it's the safe logic as developed for the Season 2 of the randomizer, aka the second like official big update for the randomizer. Because way back in the day, it was not possible to randomize the equipment items that were required for progression. So Silver Ring, Spike Breaker, Holy Glasses, those could not be randomized. Season 2 introduced the randomization of those items, as well as the complexity system that we use today. So Season 2 safe is essentially the first implementation of randomized progression items, as well as 8 complexity, the first complexity preset to exist, really. And we've been using this as kind of like the basis for many types of randomizers and randomizer presets going into the future. So pretty much, yeah. It's a step up from Guarded OG. As far as like progression in the chain of historic randomizers, yes. It went OG, which was just the first relic randomizer, Guarded OG, which added new locations for relics that were guarded by bosses, and then safe logic, but specifically from Season 2. So this version of safe does not have the item randomization, and that's like the major difference overall. Because safe logic has stayed mostly the same. The only difference is that when Season 3 came out, Season 3 safe, aka the safe logic that we still use to this day, has the item randomization, specifically the item stats, item name, item sprite randomization. There's a lot of other quality of life stuff that's happening on top of it, like the anti-freeze and stuff like that. That was not available back in the day. But we are playing on the modern version of the randomizer from symphonyrando.net, which has a lot of quality of life stuff, like randomized music, randomized cape colors, randomized gravity boots colors, randomized hydrostorm colors. What else? And then obviously stuff like the anti-freeze, where the level ups don't freeze the game and stuff like that. No death skip. Most randomizer playthroughs are played glitchless, specifically because if you allow glitches, the game can be finished very trivially. I forgot that I put on anti-freeze. I've been using anti-freeze for like all of my playthroughs, so it's fine. It's just like the one quality of life thing that I like because it just keeps the gameplay going. So I'm happy to use it. You can skip death in safe logic. It's just it requires that you do a reverse shift line. And reverse shift lines are definitely banned in like most playthroughs, specifically because it turns every randomizer into find Soul of Bat and find a heart refresh, and then you win the game, which isn't very fun. Where can I play these randomizers? !rando. SotenRando.net is the updated randomizer website. The old randomizer website that might generate seeds faster but has less options is Soten.io. So there's 2 randomizer websites. One that hasn't been updated in a while, and one that is more modern. Hello? I love it when the frickin' game drops inputs. BizHawk is too powerful. Whatever, man. I'll just be playing the game casually, I guess. I've never gotten the randomizer launcher to work personally, so I don't use it. Ooh, Claymore. That could be interesting. It's a useful random drop right there. Oops. In fact, maybe I should switch to it. It does more damage, I'm sure. I'm not shield dashing anyway, so who cares? Damn it. Dude, I'm gonna die. Holy. It makes sense. We haven't played much. In fact, I haven't played at all today, so this is the first seed of the day. Damn it. Whatever. At least I got damage boosted the right way. Yeah, I don't know if I've just become more sensitive to it, but man, playing on emulator is just so annoying. I should go back to playing the randomizer on my X station again. Level or layer 0 missed is very interesting. That does not happen very often in safe logic. Huh. So mist on its own is not a true form of progression in logic for this version of the randomizer? Huh. So this would be considered an out of logic check because you're not supposed to be able to like dive kick on that candle or whatever in logic. So that's interesting. What controller do I use? Xbox 360 controller. What up, Talik? How's it going? Yeah, there might be layer 0 like power of mist at outer wall or something like that. Which is fair. Oops. Got a mystic pendant for sure. Very useful. Maybe I should switch to Jewel Sword to try and get some extra cash before going to the shop. Unironically, I think I'm going to do that. It probably won't matter, but I could always do a pass-through with the skeleton guys. Assuming I one-shot them, I do. I mean, there's no reason not to grab this. This probably isn't worth it, but it is funny. Nothing. Nothing? This wouldn't matter if the shop relic isn't free. Okay. I think that's probably enough. What is that? 2 aquamarines, 2 zircons. That's like $1,000. That's fine. What's the hardest randomizer I've done so far? I mean, none of the randomizers are particularly difficult, in my opinion. It's just they're different levels of time consuming. So if you base the difficulty on like how long does it take to finish, then Adventure by far has been the longest to finish. That was like over 2 hours. First time seeing me use the Jewel Sword. It's something. It's usually not very useful, so. Do I prefer long runs or short runs? I prefer them to be fun. So the actual length doesn't particularly matter. In general, the things I find fun about this game is going fast. So oftentimes they tend to be a little bit shorter. But there are short runs that are also not very fun. So it all comes down to context. It'll come up again in Gem Farmer. True, actually. Speaking of, I don't need this anymore. Going zoom is always fun. I would say so. I think Symphony of the Night is at its best when you're combining the unique movement options to do cool stuff in the castle. But I know that not everybody feels that way about this game. There was a lot of people who were arguing that, like, nimble is, like, not a fun preset to watch because you just have movement all the time. And I'm just kind of like, okay, that's a interesting feeling to have, I guess. The game with some of the best movement to ever exist, streamer uses the movement, they get bored because it's too good. I don't know. I guess I can understand, like, the idea of wanting there to be progression of the character throughout your playthrough or whatever, but meh. At least from a gameplay perspective, having movement is always going to beat out not having movement, you know? We immediately just go to library. There's no reason not to. Because we can full clear library with this setup. Even if it's not maybe the fastest, but... You know, I should use the grounded thrust attack more often. I think people just want to see new things happening, and when you have Soul of Bat and Infinite Mana Prisms from the start, people don't feel like you're progressing the character throughout the playthrough, so they just get bored because nothing new is happening outside of the actual, you know, technical skill and movement. But people don't necessarily appreciate the technical skill in the movement of this game, especially if they don't play it regularly. Where was Mist? It was at, what the fuck is that place called? Spirit Orb. There we go. Oh, nice. I'll take a duplicator. Oops. There we go. I'm over here doing shop glitch. Is there anything I want to use this with? I mean, I have flame stars. I did pick up a potion as well. No mana prisms yet, though. Yeah, the thrust is back, forward, then attack, yeah. Now, if I can buy a mana prism, this will be so worth it. I can buy a library card. And a mana prism for 8k, though. Okay, hold on, hold on. It's all coming together. Fork, if you didn't get the duplicator, imagine coming here, buying the duplicator for all of your money, saying, okay, it's fine, I'll come back later, and then finding one for free on the ground right afterwards. That's funny.
Farewell for now.
What's the best weapon to use with duplicator? In general, it's going to be Buffalo Stars. No. I guess I should probably still be thrusting. Let's just reset the room. Yeah, doing this with solo mist is annoying. I don't think Power of Sire is that good. Like, Power of Sire is, like, has a slower, I mean, I'll use it here because there's so many enemies. But, like, as far as certain boss fights and boss kills goes, like, you're faster using just Buffalo Stars. Like, here, I think Flame Stars would kill this guy faster. Oh, definitely. He would not have flown there if I was using Flame Stars. I know Duplicator lowers stats, but which ones? Yes. Oh, shit. That's out of logic, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we would have flight. That's weird. Nah, Power Sire is not worth it, man. I'm a flame star for a bit. So we need some way to get to that location for us to get the other ring. Okay. So outer wall is going to have either Power of Mist, Bat, Leapstone, or Gravity Boots. Or it could also have Jewel of Open, and then you have to go to the caverns to get double jump or something like that. See, it's kind of awkward. It's going to be a little awkward, yeah. Depending on what's here, it is Jewel of Open. Okay. I guess that kind of makes sense. I forgot the freaking elevator's not here, whatever. So access to the Soul of Bat location is going to be locked behind Jewel of Open. That's guaranteed. We can still check Holy Glasses. Maybe we check Holy Glasses in case it's like Flight. Because there is a chance that Flight is still at Holy Glasses. And that chance isn't necessarily that low. But I also kind of don't want a library card out when I could just save split, I think. I am going to open this up while I'm here. But I don't think we go down into the caverns quite yet. I think it's probably better to check what's at Holy Glasses first. Yeah, we should check Holy Glasses first. This is an interesting seed. I think playing it without skipping any of the complexity layers would be dog ass, but I think that's one of the things that's nice about safe logic is that the logic is based around playing the game casually. So if you know any of the glitchless like skips, the game becomes a lot more open to you and you're able to like do stuff like this, like go into the Holy Glasses location like way earlier than intended. Because the game intends for you to have, like, some way to gain extra height before you can go to... check Soul of Bat with just Mist. Like, you're not supposed to be able to solo check Soul of Bat with Mist in Logic, so... Any Mana Prismers? Ooh, well, that's enough to give me a Mana Prism. If I save soft reset, I'm going to have to remember that. Yeah, this is what I was very much... I mean, I can get the Mana Prism right now. I think it's worth it. And then we just come back. There's no reason to do that, but whatever.
What can I do for you?
I'm interested in... I'm interested in this.
And the Buffalo Star, even. I don't think there was any reason to buy anything else.
Farewell for now.
All right. Gaming time. Yeah, it was definitely the correct play to go down there because there was a high chance of finding flight down there of some kind. Even if it was like just gravity boots or whatever, that would have been very useful. But the fact that it's specifically Soul of Bat is incredible. Because Soul of Bat doesn't have to be in the first castle in this preset. It could be in the second castle. It could be higher in the complexity chain or something like that. That requires that you go back and forth between the castles. This was the first preset that historically had you go back and forth between the castles. Because back in the day, people hated this preset because how often you went back and forth between the castles. Buy another duplicator? Oh, I should have. You're so right. I forgot. Well, there's Power of Mist. So we know Power of Mist was locked behind Flight, which means that it probably was not the intended form of Flight. Well, I mean, it can't be the intended form of Flight. It's very likely that Soul of Bat was just the intended form of Flight. I don't think there's a world where that isn't the case unless we live in a crazy world. That also means that Gravity Boots probably won't show up until late in the progression as well. Damn it. That's fine, though. If Double Duplicator also threw 2 items per throw instead of 1, that would be incredible. Next randomizer preset, Double Duplicator as a separate item. Soul of Wolf down here, really? I mean, there's not really a good reason to pick up Soul of Wolf in this preset, but you know, it doesn't like hurt necessarily. The Triplicator. Okay. I mean, now we go back to castle entrance. And we just do as many checks as we can until we find... Echo is probably like just chilling in the caverns if I had to guess. And Spikebreaker probably has glasses. Well, glasses could also just be flight locked. Glasses could also just be at Spikebreaker, and Echo is flight locked. But it seems like Spikebreaker, at the very least, is going to be the next high complexity location. That's going to matter. Maybe that means I should be beelining it for Spikebreaker, but I also don't think that's necessarily the correct play. Okay, Gravity Boots was flight locked. Nice. This game's so fun when you have all the movement, man. It's just a constant flow state of wing smashes and cancels and movement options. Even if you make a mistake, you can cancel out of it if you know what you're doing. But item decisions. Streamer, you don't understand. Getting random items is fun. What's the key to understanding complexity? Do you know how to count? This is not a joke. Can you count to 8? The real key is understanding what the intended logic is, more so than anything else. We can do Silver Ring out of logic, so we should do that as well. But yeah, the way that counting complexity works in a super oversimplified manner is you just count the number of progression relics that unlock other relics. And once you get to the number, the complexity number of that preset, then you are expecting to find the final Vlad relic or the final piece of the puzzle that lets you finish the game. But that also requires that you understand the intended logic in what relics are meant to lock each location. For example, the All Rocks boss fight is guarding the Echo of Bat location. But in order to get here, you need flight to get into this part of All Rocks' quarters, and you need a transformation to make it through that hallway. So the intended locks are both a transformation and flight. So, for example, if you have a transformation and flight and nothing else, you can presume that the next progression relic is likely behind All Rocks. We have other options. We have other locations we can go to, so it's not necessarily guaranteed to be behind here. But that's just like one way of understanding complexity, is that a general rule of thumb is you go to the place that is unlocked by the next by the thing that you currently have. So, for example, we have Merman Statue. We found Merman Statue that was locked behind Flight. So because of that, Merman Statue likely has something like Holy Glasses. It also means if you skip a complexity layer by doing an out-of-logic check, for example, utilizing the thrust sword like we did earlier to gain a little bit of extra height, that completely changes the way that you would count complexity. Like, for example, we never got Leapstone, which from my viewpoint is the intended form of gaining the extra height that we needed to get the other ring, which would have led us into the Holy Glasses location. So because I know Leapstone was part of the complexity chain so far, and the part of the complexity chain that we haven't really explored yet being Jewel of Open, and we checked everything that is locked by Jewel of Open so far. Okay, that changes some things. I'll just library card. I can know for certainty that inside the caverns is going to be Leapstone. Leapstone is 100% inside caverns. In fact, it has to be either Scylla or the Merman statue location. Those are the only two places for Leapstone to possibly be and for this seed to be completable with the correct logic. Finding glasses there means that Spike Breaker is in the first castle and part of the complexity chain, which means there's a chance that I'm supposed to just go to the second castle, because Spike Breaker probably is vanilla. Yeah, Spike Breaker is probably vanilla. So we're going to the caverns essentially to find Leapstone and to try and find random Vlads right now. That's the only reason we're going to the caverns. We could potentially choose to skip caverns. And in fact, I think if I was a little bit more practiced for like a season 2 tournament type thing, I probably would go to the second castle right now because I have library cards to come back to clean up whatever I'm missing. But I can't be super confident in the complexity count quite yet. I mean, there's a chance the second castle just has the final Vlads that we're missing as well. Because right now the complexity count is 1 mist, 1 Jewel of Open plus mist. 2 Leapstone, 3 rings, 4 bat, 5 probably Echo, 6 Spike Breaker, 7 glasses, 8 is just the end of the game. So yeah, final Vlad is probably just in the second castle. Although Merman Statue also is a part of this, and we found that flight locked. So Merman Statue would be layer 5. The mines were also flight locked, so anything in the mines could also be a part of this. Merman Statue could just be bait, and Echo could just be at, like, Demon Card or Grand Falloon or something like that, and that would still count to the same complexity count that I was referring to. Best preset ever, let's go. Season 2 save is good. The only downside with Season 2 save is this preset, if played the proper way, would suck ass. We'd be in the caverns for like 45 minutes. But because we skip complexity, it's not ass, which is nice. Okay, this was Spike Breaker. Okay, so that leaves... Glasses is layer 6. Echo is maybe layer 7, and then Final Vlad at Spike Breaker. Okay. The reason why this preset is really good, by the way, is because you can calculate the likelihood of the Final Vlad location pretty accurately. And because of that, it leaves a lot less gambling for many other reasons. And because there's so many free available ways to skip complexity, yeah, see, there we go, Leapstone. It was in one of the 2 locations we knew it had to be in. We don't know where the rest of the Vlad relics are. So that's the thing about every randomizer, is that Vlad relics that are not, what am I, fucking Australian all of a sudden? Vlad relics that are not part of the complexity chain itself can appear randomly anywhere. Yeah, Bat was at Holy Glasses. It was Jewel of Open into Leapstone into both rings. Into Bat. I'll grab it for funsies. Yeah, then Bat into Merman Statue, Statue into Spike Breaker, Spike Breaker into Glasses. So, I mean, no matter what, we kind of need to check a little bit of everything because we're still looking for the random Vlads. So. Complexity is just one of those things that makes a lot of sense when you've played the game enough. But until you've played the game a lot, none of this shit makes sense. Also, on fast core, I'm pretty sure the save split is like so much more worth it now. Oops. At the very least, even if you're not counting the literal number every single time, which I oftentimes don't do, you can at least get a understanding that high complexity locations oftentimes are the ones that are locked by a lot of shit. And, like, the ones that are locked by a lot of shit are always the same in presets like safe. Stuff like Spike Breaker, stuff like Silver Ring, stuff like Holy Glasses. Like, these are the things that require multiple pieces. The Holy Symbol location. These are relics that require multiple pieces to come together, so they are more likely to be higher complexity because of that. Hi there, Dad Butts. I'm glad you enjoyed the GDQ run. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, and I had some of the best people in the world on that couch with me to vibe out and be silly with, and that was great. Yeah, that's what I meant by understanding the logic of the randomizer, because the logic essentially is a list of this place is open by this lock, essentially. Can we stop? Can we stop? Can we stop? Jesus Christ, just do a wing smash upwards! God, I hate this randomizer, or this emulator. I'm just fucking using Mist, man. That was a soft reset, yeah. What's wrong with the emulator? The emulator drops inputs. This is, like, just known. Nothing. Okay. So everything's in the second castle. Cool. No, it doesn't. It literally does, Talik. I've literally tested it many a times. Please explain to me how that has anything to do with the tests we've done. We've had multiple emulator windows open, taking the same exact series of inputs from X input, getting different results in game. That's frame instability, which is built into the emulator. Yeah. Isn't that awesome? BizHawk doesn't run stably. That's not necessarily related to the emulator. It kind of is. Whatever. Because these same input infrequencies do not happen on one console and on two other emulators. Specifically DuckStation. If you want to get too in the nitty-gritty, yes, you could argue that it's technically not the emulator itself, but the fact that the emulator can't run consistently on all machines or whatever. Fine. All I know is these inputs I'm doing are correct on the controller. The game does not execute them properly due to it not running properly. And that is clear and obvious to me. Is a hardware problem? Well, kind of. It's a software problem, technically. And that's why it's hard to explain. Thank you, Techo, for the tier 3.
Exclamation mark you backdashing.
Nobody knows exactly what the reason is. All I know is playing on emulator fucking sucks. Due to the fact that it feels like shit to play on. And the inputs are inconsistent. I can say that with certainty. Is the input drop reflected in BizHawk input display? Yes. It's not an issue of going too fast. It's the fact that the rate at which the game is expecting you to do your inputs changes and is not constant. And the amount of input drops due to like lag frames or whatever in the original game can happen, but that's usually when the game is like visibly lagging. All I know is playing on this emulator makes me want to rip my hair out sometimes. That's all I know. Because I know I'm doing the inputs properly. I've been doing them for longer than most people. I know how it's supposed to be done. Especially on Xbox. Even PlayStation 1. Playing on PlayStation 1 was fantastic. As far as
Tribute. You steal men's souls and make them your slaves.
Like consistency of inputs. Thank you, Face of Case, for the gifted. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even think Xbox has like an input buffer or anything like that. I think it really just is the game either pulls inputs faster than once per frame or something like that. I don't know how PS1 would feel with analog, though. Well, that's the thing, is nobody knows because you can't do that. So. The game pulls once? Yeah, but we don't know if the Xbox itself has a higher polling rate and then is sending that to the game. If that makes sense. Because clearly, the Xbox version has a higher level emulation thing. Not emulation, but like a higher level control thing on top of the emulated game itself. So the Xbox could be handling inputs at a higher polling rate than the emulator itself that it's using. But that assures the most up-to-date input. Yeah. And then it kind of holds that input and waits for the frame of the emulator. Am I wrong? Also, left-siders in shambles right now. Even right side works as intended in this preset, exactly. Yeah, I think it's hard to... Because I don't have the technical knowledge, I just have the technical skill. Well, that's the thing. It's not just analog inputs, at least on BizHawk, that I'm referring to. It's all inputs. Now, here's the fun part. Do we go to Creature or not is the real question. I just mean controllers that aren't digital. Yeah, that's fair, but like also there are aspects of those controls that are digital, so like I don't know. Maybe double buffering is all that Biz needs. I think, yeah, legitimately, I think that would solve a lot of the problems. Because if I do the input and BizHawk says, actually, well, right now we're a little busy dealing with like some other emulation shit, so that input isn't probably like prioritized to actually go through. Something like that. Like if they're not holding the input when things go wrong and then releasing it when it actually like should come out as far as like emulation time goes, then yeah. The reason I'm going to Creature is because I'm playing by myself and I don't want to get screwed over by Creature. If I was racing, I'd probably skip Creature. We'll grab that. Yes, macros that are not tied to the emulator itself would drop inputs. Like if you did like a joy to key macro. Yes. If you use the emulator itself to create macros, then no. The macro would just be built into the emulator. Yeah, TASs literally are emulator playback macros. So I guess the thing that is the problem is that this device that I am playing on right now is not in sync with the emulator itself for whatever reason. Hence that the motions and inputs that go into this do not always show up there due to dropping a frame, and then the input itself just goes nowhere because the frame itself didn't show up at times or whatever. Fucking whatever's causing that desync to happen is, at the end of the day, really fucking annoying, and I wish it wouldn't. That completes my 20-minute TED Talk about how I am so incredibly frustrated playing this emulator in any sort of serious capacity. I cannot believe that the speedrunning community for this game has put up with the inaccuracy of the inputs for so long. Genuinely, like, I always gaslit myself into thinking that I was just worse on PlayStation because of the lag itself. But now that we're playing on the core that doesn't lag, and I'm still dropping inputs, it's like, okay. It's just this uncanny feeling where it's like, this feels a lot like Xbox as far as like execution goes until you do the inputs on the controller and they don't come out. The Soden community, like, universally uses BizHawk as the emulator. I don't emulate Symphony of the Night when I do serious speedruns. I play the game on my Xbox when I do serious speedruns. The randomizer, however, does not work on Xbox, so, you know. Looking at Death or Galamoth. Okay. I should do some Mednifen input testing, I think. It's a shame that Duck Station is the way that it is for speedrunning. Dolphin has had, I think, quadruple polling? Up to 4x polling for Melee for like years now. Of course it's Galamoth. But they also overclock like the adapters and stuff to increase the polling rate of those adapters and stuff. But yeah. Come on. But yeah, they had to overclock the game itself in order to get it working online with like good net play. Melee, that is. 4x is Slippy? No, 4x is faster Melee, if you guys know what faster Melee is. The pre-dating emulator version before Slippy. Yeah, in Melee, you can overclock your input device to go up to 1,000 hertz or something like that. So 1,000 input reads per second. What? Which check did I forget? Which check did I forget? Huh? Who'd I skip? Oh, I forgot forgot castle entrance. I didn't even realize. I thought I did it already. No, didn't I do castle entrance with a save split? I forgot to do it. Oh well. Entrance strikes again. I thought when I said warp back to entrance, I thought I did entrance at that point because I had infinite wing smashes. I had infinite mana. I literally just forgot to do it. Damn. I mean, we got unlucky there, but we're still finishing in like 55 minutes. So like, you know, that's funny. Good seed still. Like, hey, I obviously fucked up, but this was a good seed. That means if I had done entrance first, this seed would have been like 40 minutes. Because I would have gotten the last Vlad at, what's it called? The trio. God damn, bro. Yeah, that would have been Darkwing Bat into trio for final Vlad. And we would have been able to skip half of the second castle. Crazy. How's it going, DevG? Welcome. Yeah, good luck with the generation times with the randomizer. I hear it's a pain in the ass to figure out and work on, but Godspeed. No, there is no rules against which controller you use so long as you aren't using any input macros or automation. Nick Wolf. You're allowed to use literally any controller you want. If you want to hook up a bunch of bananas with electrodes and circuits to your Xbox and have that as a controller, you can do that. I recommend the legendary steering wheel. Steering wheel is pretty good. Well, left plus right doesn't do anything on the Xbox version. Gaboon. So like you can't left plus right on the Xbox version. You can only do left plus right on the PlayStation version. As far as I am aware. Maybe you can left plus right on the PSP version? Maybe, but I doubt it. I wonder if there's something negatively affecting controllers specifically. I mean, I can do the same input testing on keyboard. And I can probably get the same results. But we can check. It would take me 2 seconds to check, so. We can do that when we're done with the seed. Whoa. I'm just convinced that input prioritization is just not at the top of the execution stability list in BizHawk in general. It could also just be the current Nimshock core is also like worse than the old core for small stutters. Maybe. Or maybe both cores were terrible. Well, we already do this. We already know, Game ETG, that like the input viewer on screen is not the same input viewer as BizHawk. We already know this. BizHawk has a different internal polling rate Well, maybe not BizHawk itself, but the game inside of BizHawk that BizHawk is emulating has a different internal polling rate than whatever input device you're using. That's not the issue. The issue is getting those to, like, be more consistent. Like, that's already a thing. How do you skip cutscenes? You have to beat the game and have a clear file. The randomizer has an option to allow you to skip cutscenes even without a clear file, though. I have a better throwable. Yeah, probably Vlad. Yeah, it's the same requirements as Duplicator and Ring of Varda. Nice. 55 minutes. We would have finished like 5 minutes faster, maybe even 10 minutes faster if we did things the right way. But it was fun. I had a good time. This seed could have been really bad, obviously, if it was like a layer 0 Jewel of Open thing into like a 50-50 early on. The earlier on the 50-50s, the worse the seed is in general, and Safe does have the potential for that. So let's take a moment to really think about where are we going to be placing Season 2 Safe on the tier list. Funny enough, I think I might get some flack for this. But honestly, Season 2 Safe, I think it belongs in goated tier. It's just good. Like, if you want to play the randomizer, this is probably the best generalist, like, basic version of the randomizer. The only problem is that it kind of is a little bit of a casino based off the early versions of specifically when you end up getting progression, because there are versions or various randomizer combinations where you get like early Jewel of Open, go into the caverns just to find like Leapstone, and then you go back through the game with just Leapstone, and then Flight isn't until like 50 minutes in, and Soul of Bat is like at Holy Glasses, but you don't even need it to beat the game. So those seeds come up, but as far as like racing the game, you know what it is? I think we need another tier, unfortunately. I think Season 2 Safe is probably one of the best racing presets we have. Because even if you are struggling early on, so is your opponent. So, like, it's more consistent that way. It also does have a lot of, like, skill tests early on as well, where you aren't guaranteed, like, a lot of powerful equipment necessarily. The item randomization means that, like, the items you get are what they are. The frequency it sends you into the second castle at very low level without good equipment means that dying is very easy. That is true. You have to be comfortable in the second castle without like Soul of Bat and stuff like that. I think it's a great race preset overall. I think that's probably where it belongs. I think putting it in goated tier probably isn't like 100% fair. But as far as like if I needed to like race at the best of my ability to save my family from a burning building, I'd probably want it to be Season 2 Safe. Well, that's not true. But if out of all of the presets we've chosen so far, Season 2 Safe would be the one I would be the most happy to race in that scenario. But there are better race presets yet to come, so stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe to watch the next part of the series. Leave a like, leave a comment, join the live stream, twitch.tv/DragonBlitz, and I'll see you in the next one, YouTube.